All right, let's talk about an exercise that changed my life. And the reason that it changed my life is because it made a lot of the music that I was playing so much easier. Difficult pieces became fun, they became more manageable, and as a result, playing for people in live performances also became much more fun. I was now more kind of in touch with the space that I was playing in, a lot less nervous because my hand was so reliable. And I'm going to talk at the end about why I believe this exercise is effective at doing what it's doing. But those of you that want to just hear the exercise and start playing right away, let me do a demo right away. So we're going to take our second finger and we're going to place it on the second fret of the first string, followed by the first finger on the first fret of the second string. So we're always going to be on the first and second strings, but we're going to start having our other fingers come into play too. So it's going to be 2, 1 on strings 1 and 2, and then fingers 3 and 2 on frets 3 and 4. Next, and then fingers 4 and 3 on frets 4 and 3 on string 1 and string 2. Then we're going to reverse that pattern, and we're going to start on the second fret of the second string, 2, 1, and then 3, 2, and then 4, 3. Okay, so what the whole pattern looks like is this. Notice that I'm overlapping the notes as much as possible. And those of you that are listening and saying, that's too easy, I want to take it up a notch and make it more difficult. Well, you can easily scale the exercise by moving from the first and second strings to the first and third strings. And then you're increasing your more horizontal stretching capacity going this way, but also your vertical stretching capacity now going towards the sixth string. And once you make it from the first string to the sixth, that's quite a big stretch. So now you're working even more skills all at once. So let's dive in and run all of the variations of the exercise. Okay, there you have it. There's the whole exercise. Let's talk about what it's actually doing. The first thing, if you notice that your hand is very, very tense, then the fingers will tend to be very close together and scrunched together. And a stretch across 4 frets is going to require some good spacing and already going to require a good amount of stretching capacity. Now, when you start to go from the first string to the third, first string to the fourth, that's a lot more stretching. So it's going to test how effective are you at being relaxed while you're playing? Because if you're very, very heavy, your hand is really scrunched together, you're going to really just stop right away with this exercise. So it's a good test of that, and relaxation is important for accuracy, it's important for having a lot of endurance, and your general comfort when playing everything is, it's going to be at its best when you're super relaxed. The next thing is, of course, stretching capacity, like we talked about, both horizontal and vertical. You know, when you reach a point in a piece of music, a new piece of music, where you have a difficult stretch, and it's a stretch that you've never seen before, if it's way out of your comfort zone, it's going to take you weeks to work up to it if you haven't been working on stretching capacity before that. So why not work on stretching capacity daily? You know, in the same way you would if you were, practicing yoga or something like that. I mean, you're just improving a little bit each day, and then all of a sudden, just like in yoga, you'd have a very difficult stretch with your body. The same thing with your hand. You're improving the amount that you can stretch over several frets, and that's going to be a very valuable thing for you to have, because you're going to be able to learn new pieces faster. The stretching aspect of those pieces is not going to be something that's going to throw you off. Then we have economy of motion. Economy of motion is necessary in this piece. If your fingers are flying off of the strings, something like 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and you have a tendency to also rock the fingers back and forth while you're playing, that's simply not going to work in this exercise. So it's going to teach you to keep the fingers super close to the strings, as if you're typing on a keyboard, or if you're the type that types on an old-fashioned typewriter. If we have any old-fashioned typewriter watchers of this video, then this one goes out to you. But yeah, most people are typing on a smartphone or on a keyboard, and we simply are not really making gigantic motions when we type. We're used to be very, very economical. So it's the same thing with the left hand playing on the guitar. So we have relaxation, we have economy of motion, we have stretching, and then we have something called finger independence. And finger independence is when the fingers are just moving independently of each other instead of always thinking as moving in this one large unit all the time, like moving in the same direction. This is why I have the fingers overlapping, and playing notes that are ringing over each other forces you to have the fingers fixed, and then you have your non-working fingers are preparing for the next part of this exercise. So true finger independence is extremely valuable. It's an extremely valuable skill to have. And one of the valuable skills here too that you're noticing too is that if you have a very weak combination between finger number 3 and finger number 4, that's your ring finger and pinky finger, if it's so much weaker than your index finger and middle finger when you're playing, and you tend to even avoid the pinky finger when you're playing, I notice a lot of beginners doing this. This exercise is going to fix that. It's going to fix that right away, because you have to have a very, very good ring finger and pinky finger to accomplish this exercise. And if you're noticing yourself stumble by the time you reach to this part of the hand, you know that it's something that you need to work on. So there you have it, guys. It's an exercise that combines so many useful skills, and it's an exercise that's not so difficult to memorize. Now, it can be quite difficult to master and to practice at first, but it's not an exercise that you have to leaf through an exercise book and figure out and remember how to play it. It's all pretty clearly laid out for you, but the benefits are tremendous. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that the exercise actually gives you what it gave me when I was like 20 years old and I first tried this exercise. For me, it was an absolute game changer, so I just wanted to pass it along to you guys. All right, thanks so much for watching the video. Take care.